With the launch of Black Ops 4 Zombies, we were given quite the map variety, 4 to be exact. I mean, typically in the past, it never exceeded 2 maps, but with this game, for better or worse, we received 4 stories to try to follow, and naturally with so many different options, we had to prioritize which maps piqued our interest the most, and unfortunately 9 was the singular map that didn't really seem to pique our interest pre-launch. People wanted to see Mob of the Dead and 5 remastered, and a map on the Titanic was also very exciting, but this seemingly boring Roman Colosseum didn't quite pique our interest. And looking back on it now, my god, 9, what an unexpected gem in BO4 Zombies. Most of you know my thoughts on BO4 Zombies. In general, I thought it was disappointing, but there were a few good qualities, a few great qualities of this game, and 9 was one of them, for sure. Welcome back to the analysis series where we analyze every single Treyarch Zombies map. I've done World at War all the way up to Black Ops 3, and I've also done Voyage of Despair. We're continuing here with Black Ops 4. We go in chronological order. Please subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. I do it every single Sunday evening. You're not going to want to miss it. Please do go on to leave a like on this video if you enjoy it. Of course, don't like it if you don't enjoy it. That would be weird. Without further ado, let's discuss everything 9. You spawn in and are immediately struck with a vibe. Can we get a vibe check? You are placed in the shoes of a gladiator, a warrior, anticipating a fight to the death. The gate opens and you make your way into the Colosseum and fight for your very life against the zombies. Treyarch did a phenomenal job placing you in this atmosphere and making you truly feel what it's like to be in such a scary predicament. You look up and you see thousands of people chanting for you or against you. It's a show. You're a pawn in this game. This spawn room does a multitude of things. It gives a great first impression on the player. It's an excellent, realistic setting while giving us a history lesson all the while. And if we're looking at pure gameplay, this spawn room is massive and allows lots of training space. This spawn room is quite literally the center of 9's greatness. It's where all of the rewards can be found through the challenge podium and through the audience. This spawn room, aesthetically and gameplay-wise, is incredible. This Colosseum gives off quite a grand vibe. It pulls a lot of weight. It's enough to conceptualize its own zombies map. That's how phenomenal it is. But of course, we're not limited to just the spawn room. We then branch off into 4 different temples, each dedicated to a god in a different mythology. So if the spawn room wasn't captivating enough, you're now being fed 4 different mythologies and 4 different atmospheres on top of that. You have the Temple of Odin, derived from Norse mythology, really gives off that Viking woodland aesthetic, which is connected to the Zeus Temple, derived from Greek mythology with that rich architecture. On the corresponding side, you have the Temple of Ra, derived from Egyptian mythology, filled to the brim with hieroglyphics and ancient artifacts. Connected to the Temple of Danu, derived from Irish mythology, has that earthy, forest environment. When it comes to atmosphere, 9 has a multitude of them. I mean, it's almost impossible for a player to hop on here and not be satisfied with at least one segment of it. Not a lot of zombies maps can say they have multiple different vibes. Personally, I love the Temple of Odin because my family can be traced back to the Vikings in Scandinavia, which is badass. And I'm positive that even if you don't have a connection with one of these backgrounds or one of these mythologies, it can still be appreciated and enjoyed. So when it comes to atmosphere, when it comes to environment, 9 fires on all cylinders, and it pleases just about everybody. There isn't one segment of this map that lacks attention to detail. Everything is highly detailed. The color scheme is fantastic. Nothing feels empty or barren like a lot of BO4 maps, Voyage of Despair being a prime example. Having all of these temples in different areas of the map really enables variety, a variety that not a lot of zombies maps have out there. You can alternate throughout the different rooms in the map and have a refreshing experience every single round with a new color scheme, a new layout, whereas on a lot of zombies maps you train in the same spot and get bored very quickly of it. So already, in terms of pure atmosphere and aesthetic, 9 is miles better than other zombies maps, and the design of the map is fantastic as well. The best part about it is how straightforward and simple it really is. You have the central Colosseum where you spawn and 4 branching temples with an underlayer. Pros, beginners, just about anybody can hop on this map and understand its layout and be able to train with ease because of how spacious it is as well. It's a player-friendly design. It doesn't suffocate you like a lot of other BO4 maps do. It grants you a lot more freedom, a lot more leeway. And Pack-a-Punch, the most essential component of this map isn't an overly complicated, drawn-out process like a lot of other BO4 maps. It's so straightforward, so simple, and so easy to understand as well. You simply go to each of the 4 temples, summon a champion, slay them, and bring them down to the lower temple. This Pack-a-Punch process does so many great things for this map. It encourages the player to explore the entirety of it. It gives a clear, concise purpose for the map. And again, it welcomes the weakest of players. It welcomes the strongest of players. It all makes sense. I can't get enough of Zombies maps that intertwine the actual gameplay with the story and the atmosphere as well as 9 does. It pretty much blends everything perfectly together. I hate to keep picking on Voyage of Despair, but on Voyage of Despair, all you do is activate the Sentinel artifact and then randomly select the 3 Pack-a-Punch locations you don't want it to be in, and it goes to the 4th. On this map, it feels like a chore. It feels like you're just running around and you have to do these things because they just have to be done. But on 9, it feels like there's a genuine purpose. You're actually slaying the champions in each temple. And the actual gameplay of 9 isn't underwhelming. At any moment, it's fantastic as well. You have an excellent weapon variety. The Death of Orion is great. Certainly one of the more unique wonder weapons in Zombies. And the Brazen Bull Shield, also very cool. I love how they tie into the mythology behind the map. I'm not gonna lie, the boss zombies on this map are pretty badass as well. The gladiators and the tigers specifically. Again, I'm a broken record when I say it. I hate the bosses in BO4 in general. I think there's too many, and I think the Catalyst zombies can go suck it. But if we're talking about the quality of the bosses, I think 9 has some pretty good ones. And you can't talk about this map without talking about the challenges. They're super engaging, and they keep the player striving for more and more. You get half a dozen to a dozen of them. Some of them are pretty tricky, but for the most part, they're all manageable, and they reward you greatly for going out of your way to complete them. They give you anywhere from a max ammo to a bonus points to a Pack-a-Punched weapon. These challenges on 9 are very engaging, more so than a lot of other Zombies maps out there. And you're not only rewarded for completing these challenges, but you're also rewarded for being a good Zombies player in general. If you're not being burned or attacked by zombies, you know, if you're just training properly and you're surviving, then the audience will toss you a reward, some sort of drop, whether it's a fire sale or a specialist charge, whatever it is. The audience rewards you for playing well, which I think is also fantastic. 9 offers some of the best gameplay you can get in Zombies, on top of that magnificent atmosphere and general design. Now let's talk a little bit about the story. Y'all know that I'm not a huge fan of the Chaos storyline. I find it uninteresting, to be honest, but I thought this particular segment of it in 9 was pretty good, and I thought the Easter egg was certainly one of the more tolerable ones. It's one of the only Easter eggs that I've done on solo that I've gone out of my way to do that I haven't had my friends sort of drag me through. In essence, 9's storyline is very similar to Voyage of Despair's actually. Each map is sort of a trial, but in this case, they're inhaling vapors that are essentially LSD, basically drugs, right? And then they like to get teleported through time and space or whatnot, and here they are in this Coliseum. And we see the cult, and the cult does what the cult does best, and they turn all of these slaves into zombies. They throw our characters in the arena to fight the zombies for a show. The end goal is to pretty much please the 4 gods and open up a gateway for the cult. It's not entirely clear, but I thought it was somewhat interesting nonetheless. And as far as Black Ops 4 goes, the Easter egg was pretty good. You get to use your specialist a lot and just kill a bunch of gladiators, and the boss fight was pretty epic as well. You fight a giant elephant, which was an interesting choice, but it worked. I wouldn't say its story is its strong point, but I think in contrast to other Chaos maps, this one clicked a little bit better. I think 9 caught people off guard. Again, in the beginning, pre-launch, when all we saw were trailers, people were heavily anticipating Mob of the Dead Remastered and 5 Remastered, and though Voyage of Despair was also new and also introduced Chaos, I felt as though the Titanic was a little more intriguing than 9. Initially, this map had the lowest player count. People weren't paying attention to 9 nearly as much as they were the other 3 maps, which in hindsight is ridiculous. This is such a masterpiece. It's such an unexpected gem. I remember playing this map for the first time and realizing, why is nobody else playing this right now? I knew this map had potential to be the best BO4 map, and I knew this map had potential to be a top 10 map of all time, which in my opinion is. This map fires on all cylinders. It does just about everything well. You have a variety of captivating atmospheres, a balanced, symmetrical, straightforward map design that doesn't suffocate the player. The map is engaging and offers some of the most unique gameplay you could possibly get. And relative to its peers, I thought had a decent story arc, something that I was somewhat interested in, which is hard to do for a brand new story. So I thought 9 was fantastic in every capacity. In the beginning, we thought this map was going to be the least successful. We thought it was going to be the least popular, and we couldn't be further from the truth. This map is the anomaly. It feels like the one map that I go out of my way to play in Black Ops 4. It's the one map that continues to bring me back time and time again, and it's definitely one of my favorites. Let me know what you think of 9 down below in the comment section, of course. Leave a like if you enjoyed, like I said earlier, and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. We will be covering Blood of the Dead. That is going to be a mouthful. I have a lot to say in regards to Blood of the Dead. I hope you have a fantastic day. I gotta go. Peace out, bro.